welcome to Denver Sports TV's Take It to the House. I'm Michelle Bundy, your host, along with co-host Greg Rashid.
The Real Sports Authority.
Oh, yes, the Real Sports
That's
Authority.
right.
Let's not forget that. Greg's worked really hard on his radio show,
That's
and
right.
we want to give him the recognition for that. So a lot of you guys know who he is
Right.
by the Real Sports Authority.
As you remember, the late lamented KDKO, I was the sports director, last sports director on the show. I still write for the Urban Spectrum, so I have articles in there that you can see from time to time. But as you know, I am the Real Sports Authority.
That's right. Well,
As I proved last
no,
week,
as he
as I
proved
proved last
wrong
week,
last week.
I
So
got
real
the
quick,
score.
We'll get to that in a minute. First, with the video you just saw, we want to talk about that for a second. That was Greg and I out at Invesco
That's
Field
right.
at the tailgating parties prior to the game. And we just want to encourage all of you guys to come out there.
That's right.
It was a good time.
Support it.
Food, party atmosphere, a lot of camaraderie. So
Those folks get out there early, before 8 in the morning, setting up,
Exactly.
getting the food together, having a good time, and just supporting the team.
and predicting the outcome of the game. As you just saw, the Broncos, as our nice fan there predicted, were going to win. And I as well, those of you that watched the show last week, know that I said the Broncos are going to win, and they're going to win. Why? Let me hear, why did I say they were going to win?
You said because of the defense.
Thank you.
But I have to say one
hold
thing
on,
first.
hold
Wait a
on,
minute, I want to
hold
say
on.
this. I got the Broncos score right. I said they would get 23 points. They got 23 points.
Okay, he
But I
did do
thought
that.
St. Louis would get 34.
But that's only
so I
a
was wrong. I was
consolation
wrong.
prize. That doesn't matter.
Well, it does. Well, the bookie,
For the
to them
bo-
bookies
well,
it
we're not
matters.
For bookies. Shh.
Oh, that's
We're not
right,
here
that's
for
right, that's
bookies.
right.
We're not
That's
here for
right.
bookies. We are
Okay.
here to talk to the community about our team,
That's
about
right.
my team. I'm
Your
not
team.
impartial. This is one thing that
That's
I
right.
don't agree with here in the media, that we have to be impartial. I'm from Denver. I live in Denver. The Broncos are my team. Therefore, I will say my team.
Oh, well, that's good. And that's why I'm on this show, to bring the realistic balance.
not
The
really.
ba-
Oh, wait, okay, now back to reality. This is what he said he was basing his prediction on last week, was reality.
Yes,
I, on the
yes.
other hand, said women's intuition. So somebody has to eat their words. Greg is going to eat his words, because that was just not nice.
Wait a minute now.
And I have a little something here behind the podium Greg's not
Oh.
aware of. And just go ahead and talk for a minute, Greg, while
Yeah,
I get this
well,
ready.
you know, all I can say is that, I'm bringing the real sports opinions and authority here, and I don't know what's about to happen here, but
He doesn't
my
have a
words.
clue, none.
But all you have to know is that if you were going by just scores,
No,
if the
don't try
Broncos
to
score,
change
I
it.
did say 23
Don't
points.
try to change
I
it.
did say
He
that.
said the
One thing I
Broncos
didn't
were
realize. One thing I didn't realize in the game is that the Broncos defense is really good. Frankly, yeah, it
He's
is.
a real optimist.
No, but
He
no,
doesn't know
but
what's going
really,
on.
they did the same thing in this game that the New England Patriots did in the Super Bowl. They shut down totally the running game of the St. Louis Rams. The fact is that with Lionel Dalton and Chester McLaughlin in the middle, it's impossible to run against them.
Exactly, and hold that thought for a minute, because you were not saying that last week.
No, I
As
wasn't.
a matter
I wasn't.
Of fact,
I was
you
basing
were
it on
saying that the Broncos were looking very scary. Therefore, you were going to eat your words. I have SpaghettiOs here, A to Z, and you are going to eat your words.
I will-
Yes, you are. Cold, too. Cold SpaghettiOs.
I will eat it. Well, one thing I have to say
No,
to those who
no.
know me out there, I can't eat meat because I'm a vegetarian.
And there's let Greg talk.
Yeah, I will. I will admit that I'll eat crow. I'll eat this football too. I can't eat this, but I will say that yeah, I was wrong. I always admit when I'm wrong. When I'm wrong, and I was wrong about the score. St. Louis is actually in a lot of trouble. The
You are
Rams.
unlucky. This is not opening.
Oh, good.
My plan here is defeating itself.
Well, what you should do is get the paper out where you were copying the words I was saying
No,
during the
no.
game.
Oh, I have that
well,
one, too.
I will take this
I
and
have
I will.
that one, too.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. He's going to eat his words. All right, that didn't work out, but that's all right.
I will hold
He's
on to
eating
this.
it. And the reason why I'm doing this, and it's because it happens a lot. A lot of times, you get men out there that think
Wait.
women don't know anything
No,
about
it
football.
wasn't that. You
Yes,
are
it
very
was.
knowledgeable. You are very knowledgeable now. Now hold it.
And I wanted him
No, I would not.
to take that back and to eat his words, because that's not necessarily the case. I've been watching football, playing
I know.
football as a since I was 6 years old. Growing up, going to football games, I played it.
Right.
I played, actually, my high school league, a lot of you guys don't know this, had a powder puff team, and I played defensive end. and I was a very good defensive end player. Now, we only had like 3 games a year, but still,
Yes.
the point is that there are women out there that know about football.
Oh, I know that. As I said on the first show, there are a lot more women that I know, and this is one of them, who know more about sports than a lot of the so-called pundits that you read in the papers here or you see on television and look at on radio, listen to on radio. I'm not going to say any names, but all I will say to you is that when you hear someone on the air, besides us, because we're knowledgeable, but you listen to these other folks, read between the lines.
Greg.
Read between the lines.
Get us in trouble.
Oh, how are we going to get in trouble? We're not going to get in trouble. But I will admit, I will eat my words. I will say when I'm wrong.
Yes.
I will say that.
So he's just
But
lucky. Had this can opener worked, I would have picked up the meatballs and he would have eaten his words.
Well, let me say this.
Next time I'll bring on alphabet cereal. He's not getting away with it.
Okay.
Next time he
I will say this, though. I will say this. I said last week that the Broncos would finish the season 6-10. Obviously, they're not going to finish 6-10. 7-9. 7-9.
What did we say? No, it's
Seven-
too late.
7
It's
and
too
9.
late. I said no. It's
7.
done.
I can change.
You can't change. No, after that show was over, no changing.
Oh,
All
okay,
right,
okay,
so-
okay. My fans know 7-9.
No, bookies can't change
Okay.
after the game started. It
Okay,
doesn't work
I'm
that
sticking
way.
to 6-10. 6-10. 6-10. We'll do that then.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so we have other segments. We were out at Dove Valley.
That's right.
Talking to some of the players. And one thing we want to do on this show is maybe get some of the players that don't get as much exposure from the media.
Yeah, because, you got 53 players on the team. And it seems like there's only about 5 or 6 guys that you constantly see on the air.
Right.
Or listen to on the radio. But there are other players that we want you introduce you to, that we want you to know.
Right, because we know them. We go in there and talk to them all the time. But then a lot of times you never even hear from these guys. You would never know who they were. If you did know their name, you wouldn't know what they looked like. And
That's right.
So that's what we're about, is we want to get more people out there and involved. So we're going to be trying to talk to some of these people, getting them one-on-one. We have a few ideas of what we're going to do with
That's
the show.
right.
We're going to tell you a little bit about some segments that we have coming up here shortly.
Right.
And just give you a little exposure and,
That's
and
right.
keep it fun, keep it light like we
Keep-
were doing.
And also because this show is about the fans.
Right.
We're not, I tease Michelle and talking about, sports and expertise and all that. But the fact is, sports is about fun. That's all it is. Especially, this week we've gone through the anniversary of 9/11, where we had to
Exactly.
just sit down and reflect for a while. But sports is about fun, and that's what we're about. This is not the end of the world if the Broncos win or lose. I think it's not the end of the world.
Not. It's really nice. It's nice to get that W.
Right.
But what's more important is for us again to come back together as
Right.
a community and have it, like I said, be our team.
That's
Not necessarily. See? That's-
oh, be the team.
no, be our team. He's the villain over here. Okay.
If you notice, blue and orange today, I don't know.
That
This
was an accident.
This
but
was
it
a
looks
total
wonderful.
accident.
It looks wonderful.
Yes,
We're
but blue
supporting
and
the
orange.
team.
This is
right. This is one of our things. But yeah, getting back to the September 11th issue, with it being the anniversary, we talked to a couple of the guys
Right.
out at the field, and we're going to take you to that clip now of some of the players talking about 9/11.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Definitely some, my thing is when my son is old enough to, when he's in high school and he's reading history, he's going to read about last year, and it was just so amazing that we were actually living through it. I mean, and it was the most tragic thing that ever happened on U.S. soil. And, we had just got through playing a game, just hours before. And to wake up to that, it was almost like it wasn't real. And, definitely your heart goes out to everybody that was affected, the whole country. And the thing is it's going to be some kind of a national holiday eventually this day. And one good thing about it for us is the fact that we have to go back to work. And, we're kind of a long way from the New York, Pennsylvania area, so we get to go back to work and kind of can take our mind off of it for a little while. But once you go home, and if you turn on any TV or watch, news or whatever, the remembrance is going to be there. Everybody's focused on that, and it was a very tragic day. But at the same time, we got to try to move on.
So where were you on the morning of September
Actually-
9th when you found out about what happened?
Actually, I was in the bed, and it was Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday morning. I think it happened Tuesday morning. I was in the bed, and had a few family members call, and my wife came in and woke me up because he had family that stays in New York, and she was trying to get in touch with her uncle, and we couldn't get in touch with him. So it was scary at first until we found out he was okay.
And where was he?
He actually worked in the Pentagon, but he actually had the week off. So
Oh, wow.
so
That's a blessing.
he had some good luck, but it definitely makes you respect life more, and just don't take things for granted.
Now back to this women's intuition point.
Yes.
We
yes.
had a very interesting play call by Shanahan.
That's right, in the third quarter.
Third quarter, fourth
Fourth
down
and
and
one.
one. He felt like the momentum was shifting, so he surprised everybody. As a matter of fact, Greg and I were up in the press box
That's right.
saying, what is he doing?
I know.
Greg said he was going to fake him out, try to draw him off sides, which happens a lot, but Shanahan instead used that women's intuition, even though he's a man.
Yes, he did. And he
went
said
with
af-
his gut.
Mhm.
Went
And
with
said
his
at the end of the
gut,
game,
right.
it was his gut reaction.
And
That's what he
went-
did.
Really went for a wide out, what do they call that, a shuffle pass out to Clinton?
That's right.
Out to Clinton Portis, the rookie who's, had a few issues starting out.
Oh,
And
he had fumbleitis. Let's not just say issues.
a
That's
few
fumbleitis. Let's put it that way. There's no issues.
Okay.
Issues is
he
like
fumbled a few times in one game.
three times actually.
Anyway, so no one was expecting this call,
No.
which is what was brilliant about it, even though Shanahan admitted afterwards he was a little nervous making the call. But he went ahead and did the shuffle pass out to Portis, and no one is expecting it. They faked to Mike Anderson. Portis
right.
catches the ball and easily gets the first down and then some. And that was pretty much
15 yards actually.
right, and then some. Pretty much what turned the game around, because the momentum was
That's
shifting.
right. It was shifting there.
For a while there, we thought it was a blowout.
Yeah.
Greg
A blowout
started
for-
eating his words very early on.
Oh no! Wait a
I
minute.
don't have my notepad, but I wrote
I
it
remember
down.
someone saying, "Boy, he can really throw. He is so accurate." Talking about Kurt Warner, not your quarterback, Brian Greasy. Do you remember that?
But he could. And you know what was
That's right,
unfortunate?
that's
We're
right.
getting off track here, but the one time when he needed to do that down the stretch,
He couldn't.
he couldn't. But every other time
That's
he
right.
did. And we were just like, this isn't fair. This guy can't miss.
That's right.
But Shanahan went and made the call to
Mhm.
Portis. Portis gets the first down, and that turned the momentum around.
That's right.
And pretty much saved the game. So we went ahead and talked to Portis, not necessarily about that play, because we know the whole media's had that out there so
Right.
far, but just in general about how he feels maybe coming back up in not having every single rep, and if that mixes things up a little, not knowing when he's going to get the play and how he feels about it. So let's listen to Portis right here talk about his experience as far as not being always the go-to man.
Well, I think Orlandis was involved in all aspects of the game, passing, running, willing to bring contact to the rim, secondary, linebackers. Mike just was running tough inside, and then I had a couple outside plays. So to prepare for all three of us in that aspect of the game, I think it's a tough trio to prepare for.
Have you ever been involved in a situation where you shared this much time?
Yeah, man, at Miami, that's all I did. So, I mean, at Miami, we had the same James Jackson, Isaiah Davenport, myself. Then we had Willis McGehee, me, and Frank Gordon. All three of us was different pace runners. Willis was a tough-nosed runner. So, coming here, I mean, this is a situation I'm used to.
Is it tougher, though, to get into a rhythm and stuff when you're not out there every play?
It is, but you got to look at it like, well, you're out there for one play right now, so give your all on this play. And you know what I'm saying? If you're still in, or if you need a breather, somebody else to come in and spare you. So you try to make the best of that one play.
One of the controversies that came out of this game is the fact that for the first time in the 4 years that Brian Greasy has been here, Mike Shanahan said that he is not hesitant to pull him out of the game. And we have some comments from the players, Shannon Sharp and Rod Smith,
Yeah, we
talking
talked to
about
them
that.
about that and just some of their thoughts, and a lot of them were surprised as far as Shanahan pulling him
Right.
out this early in the season, and a couple of reporters were asking about that. So let's go ahead and go to that clip right now.
You know what, the thing is, it didn't have anything to do with the season. It has to do with the game at hand. And you know, we had a shift in momentum drastically, you know, and it wasn't Brian, it was all of us, you know. And I was kind of surprised when I heard Steve say I'm probably going in. I saw him warming up. I was like, hey, that's fine. You know, I had to try to get my game back on track too because my momentum had slipped a little bit. So, but I was very pleased that Brian got a chance to finish the game. I was very excited for him, and he came out of it smelling like a rose.
Were you surprised that he was so ready to make a change in the third quarter of the first game?
Mike wants to win right now. not in 2 games, not in 3 games, and really nothing surprised me about Mike. But I'm glad that he stuck with Greasy. I'm glad he gave Greasy an opportunity, and I'm glad Greasy showed the poise and able to come back on the field and lead us down the football field, because I really feel this guy can get the job done for us. And it really wasn't his fault, even though the one pick. He had air wide open, and the guy gets his hands up. The guy doesn't even move off the line of scrimmage. He gets his hands up and gets a cheap pick like that. The other one, the guy makes a great play. The ball gets batted up in the air. And then all of a sudden, I guess Mike sensed the momentum, the tide starts to shift, and the momentum starts to leave us and go towards them. And I guess what he's doing is best for this football team. And like you said, hey, that's my job to keep the guys confident. My job is to put us in a situation where we can win football games. And everybody on this football team has a job to do, and Mike's doing his job.
All right, back to quarterbacks,
That's
actually. We were just discussing this. We were talking about the next game.
That's right, which is
49ers.
tomorrow.
Right.
49ers.
And Garcia. We were talking to a couple of the guys out there. Lionel Dalton, for instance, was talking about how maybe if they can keep that rushing game down, and he was joking but halfway serious about keeping
Right.
Garcia as the leading rusher.
Yeah, because that's a good point that he makes here.
Right, right.
What you want to do, you want to stop Garrison Hurst, their leading running back, and make Jeff Garcia the primary runner on the team. And if you do that, then they're going to lose the game.
Right. The offense definitely has to step it up. And from what I hear, actually, just lost my mind. And 49ers used to be my team, so I should know this. Mariucci.
Right. Steve
Mariucci was quoted as saying he might be getting a little nervous about this
Yeah,
Bronco
you know,
defense.
because they played last Thursday, so therefore he had opportunity. Steve Mariucci, the coach, had opportunity to look at the Bronco-Ram game, and he was really impressed with the Broncos. He said that he hadn't seen their linebackers run like that in years.
Right.
They were so fast, and he is getting a little nervous about it.
Yeah,
And he's
well, we have a
hoping-
good lineup of linebackers.
Yeah.
Lionel Dalton is the missing piece.
Well, he's on the defensive line, but
But I know. But what I'm saying is to enable those
Right.
guys.
The thing is about Dalton, and it's not fair, to get another 300-pounder in the middle of that line with Chester McLaughlin and put them in there. You can't run.
But see, and that helps the linebackers.
Well, it does. It does help the linebackers. And as you saw Sunday when they played the Rams, that basically shut down
no hole. Zero.
you're talking about Marshall Faulk, one of the best running backs in the history of the NFL, shut down completely.
What the whole St. Louis offense, 1 yard rushing
Right.
in the first half.
That's
Let's start with that. Let's actually go ahead now and take it to Lionel, talking about that, holding the St. Louis Rams to 1 yard offense in the first half.
What we're gonna try to do is try to demobilize Garcia. He's a great rollout quarterback. He can beat you passing or running. So we're gonna try to keep him in the pocket, try to shut down Hurst, and make Garcia. At the end of the game, the goal is Garcia leads the team in rushing, and not Garrison Hurst. If the quarterback leads the team in rushing, they're not scoring too many points.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. So hopefully we can keep him in the pocket, try to make Garcia beat us by passing out of the pocket, and try to do what we did this year and shut the running back down. At least holding under 20 yards. Hopefully.
Like you did the first half of the last game.
Yeah,
1 yard.
definitely want to come out and start fast and hit people in the mouth and try to intimidate offenses.
Hit him in the mouth.
Yeah, hit them in the mouth.
Have you ever been in a situation where you held the opposing team to 1 yard in the first half like that before?
Well, I play for the Baltimore Ravens, and
Right.
I think we broke the NFL record for fewest points scored in the NFL season. We hold 165 points, and we've had games where Eddie George ran for 5 yards the whole game. Jerome Bettis, I think he had like 15 one game. So I'm accustomed to being around great run-stopping defense, and hopefully I can rub off on this
So
team.
you brought that here, though. Is that what it is?
I'm not saying they already had some talent here. Chester's a good run stopper, and we have great linebackers that can fill holes. But hopefully, I'm that missing piece of the puzzle.
All right, we still have a couple more players real quickly. Let's just lead them off. We talked to Keith, we talked to Al, we talked to Kanoy Kennedy, one of my favorite defensive players, just talking to him about this coming up game in San Francisco. Let's go see what they had to say.
We got a tough schedule out the gate. I mean, you know, every game's tough, but you know, you have the Rams and the 49ers out the gate. It's a pretty tough beginning, but you know, in order to get where you want to be, you have to test yourself. So this is what we have to go through, and we have to make it happen.
Yeah, we're gonna try to. You know, that's what we stress here. You know, just when somebody come in territory, is, you know, try to put them out. You know, and we're just gonna play our game, and hopefully that'll get us the victory.
I think that was the most physical game we played, except some of the Kansas City games. Some of the Kansas City games we played in the past, you know, have been pretty hard hitting, but yesterday was definitely a hard hitting game, and it was, if it's not the hardest hitting game, it was definitely one of the top hardest hitting games.
You showed a decent defense in camp and during the exhibition games, but to do this against the Rams.
I mean, here it was, I've never played against the Rams. Here it was a top-ranked offense of the last few years. And for us to come out and do what we did against him and allow them to one touchdown, I mean, that's exceptional. So I was surprised. I mean, I knew we were good, and at the same time, this was our first game of the regular season, so I knew it would probably possibly be some things we had to work on. So, but we did everything we had to do, and we executed. I mean, when they made big plays, we were able to capitalize on that and keep them out of the end zone, just like we did in the preseason.
Is this a championship caliber defense, you think?
Too early to tell. I mean, it's just the first game. We showed glimpses of it, though. I will say that if we keep playing like we did the first week, of course, yeah, we can only get better. And that's the good thing about it is we didn't play as good as we could have. And I mean, that's a good thing to have, to play against the top-ranked offense and give up one touchdown and not play your best game. So definitely, I mean, we have what it takes. I'll say that we have what it takes to have a top-ranked defense. So we just got to build upon that.
Sunday, San Francisco 49ers take on the Broncos at, they're not sure what they're calling the park, believe it or not. It's no longer 3Com.
That's right.
That contract run out. I say take it back to Candlestick because, like I said, 49ers was my team growing up. And I'm partial to Candlestick, but they don't know what to call it.
I know, they never do.
Talking to Paul Kirk, he's actually the director now of media relations for the
Right.
Broncos, he said that he didn't know either, and he gave them a call, and they just basically said to call it the San Francisco Park.
But, you know, you listen to some of the players talk about the game coming up tomorrow. And as you can see, we got a good, I almost said we, but Denver has a good defense.
It's good. I'm working
You
on
know,
it.
but despite what they're saying and what Michelle will say shortly, I see it, and I will eat my words.
See? He's going to eat it.
I see 27-24 San Francisco. A good game. They're going to Denver will shut down the running game of the 49ers, but it still is going to be 27-24 49ers.
I'm going to take 27-17 Broncos.
Oh, you actually put in a score. See,
I put in a score this time just for the bookies. Not that I know anything about scores, but hey.
But
Just so we
it's
can
going to
stay
be a
on the
good
same
game.
page.
It's going to be a good game. And real seriously, too, the fact is that this is a game that, you know, they talk about the St. Louis game as the game that's kind of set the tone for the Broncos. I think this game on the road will set the tone for the season.
And I'm not going to argue with you. I agree completely. This is going to set the tone. This is going to give them, if they can get past this, which like I said in the first show, I'm predicting 2-0. We're going to start, and that's going to take us through the season. That's going to give us that momentum. It's going to give the Broncos that
Right.
extra little whatever it is that they need, that confidence to just keep on going. And this game is going to be very interesting because you have a great offense going against, obviously, future, before yesterday, unknown, wonderful defense.
Well, and you know, the thing is, too, that you got
And it'll
a
make
Jeff
a good
Garcia at quarterback
Yeah.
who can throw and run.
Right.
As good as Kurt Warner is, one of the best quarterbacks around, still, he can't run.
Garcia, you know, under Mariucci, Steve Young, West Coast offense.
That's right.
San Francisco, Montana. You can't.
And we haven't
no one
even-
can refute what
No.
an offense they have going on there, and they have run for quite a while. So this is hard for me because, like I said, 49ers was my team before I started covering the Broncos. So, you know, I'm going for the Broncos, even though I like the 49ers. I'm taking one for the team here.
And just keep in mind, Terrell Owens, wide receiver for the 49ers.
Right.
He, in the preseason game, he caught 8 receptions for 120, I think, 7 yards in the first half, in the preseason. He may do the same thing against the Broncos in this regular season game.
but preseason, the interesting thing about preseason, a lot of people forget, and that's why they weren't paying attention to the Broncos, is because everybody doesn't have their guys out on the field at the same time. You have guys that aren't going to even make the team.
the Broncos had the
they
first
don't want to
unit,
show. They don't. No, they didn't. Not the whole time. They don't want to show.
In the first half, they
You're going to
did.
try to argue with me. But they don't want to show their weapons, and obviously they didn't, because no one was expecting, including Greg, my lovely co-host here, the Broncos to come out and win against St. Louis.
I
But-
agree with it. No, I
So preseason,
eat my words on
as
that.
much as it counts for the guys that don't know if they're going to make the team, I wouldn't say that that's a prediction of how the team's going to perform during the regular season.
Well, I can agree with that, but still, 27-24, 49ers. That's what's going to happen.
And next week I'll bring Alphabet cereal since he didn't go for the.
And she will be eating it. And I want
No,
to say one more
no,
thing
no,
real
no,
quickly.
no.
A boxing note, Fernando Vargas tonight will beat Oscar De La Hoya. You boxing fans out there, watch that. The junior middleweight championship, Fernando Vargas will win that fight. Bet on it.
And you know what? I'm not going to bet against you. I'm
Okay.
not. De La Hoya is unfortunately, I think, seen his best days.
Yes. He hasn't
He's-
fought in
he's on a
15 months.
downslide, right. Unlike a few other people in this town. No names mentioned.
That's right. We're not going to mention any names here.
But quickly, I know we don't have much time. We want to talk about some of the segments that we're going to have
Right.
coming up here for you guys in the show in the next couple of weeks. Greg and I have been playing around with a couple ideas.
Right.
And
We
one
mentioned
of
some
them-
high school things, and also there's some science fiction that's going to
Yes,
appear
yes.
on this show.
Okay, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission here. Many of you might not know it, but I've been a software engineer for 8-9 years, network admin, so I work with a lot of, and I say this term affectionately because I am one, computer geeks, and
right.
they don't necessarily know anything about football, nothing. All the people that I work with, all the men, don't know a single thing about football. So I'm on a mission to train these guys.
Don't
or
say any
teach
more,
these
yeah,
guys
yep.
to like football, and we're going to use that analogy.
Don't say anything else. That's surprise.
Okay, I can't say
That's
anything
more
else.
than enough. That's more than enough.
That's enough of a teaser. Also, let's get to the other one that we're going to do here. I think we can kind of say this whole idea.
Yeah, because
Let the
we
cat out of
actually
the
have
bag.
talked about it earlier in the show. The fact is that we want to kind of introduce and get to know some of the Broncos that you don't hear about that much.
Okay, that's nice, but that wasn't what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. No, okay, wrong.
No, I'm talking about Greg and I are going to have a friendly competition.
Oh, that one. Oh,
Yes,
that
go
one.
ahead. On that note, go
Oh,
ahead
yes.
and lead off.
Yes, on PlayStation. We're going to have a competition. She'll have the Broncos. I'll have,
The opposing team
yes, of that
coming
week.
up
Of
of
that week.
we are going to go to a local store.
Right. Can't say names right
Can't
now.
say names because we don't have their permission yet,
Right.
but we're going to give them a little free advertisement, and we are going to get on a PlayStation,
Right.
and we are going to have a battle on the NFL. What are they
That's right.
calling it now? Y2K3 or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that?
like that. Or we might get on NFL Madden. Or
Right.
one of those games we'll
Right.
get on, and we're just going to
And we're
have
going
it
to have
out.
a little competition. So we're going to be out and about in the town.
That's right.
We'll let you guys know when the next one's going to be, so you guys can come out
Right.
and watch and join.
And,
so.
cheer me. Cheer me.
No,
cheer
no,
me
no,
win.
no.
As I knock out the
We'll see. That's
Broncos
right.
here.
He thinks he lives in reality, but we've all learned from
okay.
the last show, no reality exists.
27-24.
No, 27-17 Broncos.
Okay.
And just on that note, like we said, if any of you can drive out to the game, support the team like
That's
some
right.
of those guys did at the tailgating party there from the Rams, came all the way from L.A., we can make it out there. We can make it out to the San Francisco, formerly known as Candlestick Park, and
Right.
support the guys. So let's go ahead and try to do that.
Or in 2 weeks in Baltimore.
Right, in Baltimore. Now, that's a little
guess-
bit longer of a drive, but...
Hey, it can be done.
All right.
And also support high school sports.
Yes, definitely don't forget your high school sports, and we will see you next time on Denver Sports TV's
That's right.
Take It to the House. Well, thanks. You guys have to come out and join Broncos fans, even though there will be a few opponent brave souls out here. You can't miss the party. It's great. Come have a shot for the Broncos.